In our quadratic equation, we shall be considering three methods for solving it. First is factorization method. The second is completing the square method. And the third is the use of formula that some people tagged almighty formula. So other aspects of quadratic expression or equation that we'll be talking about involves perfect squares or equal roots, deriving equations from given roots, coordinates of turning points, that is, how do we find the minimum or maximum value of a particular curve or parabola. When we don't make use of calculus, we make use of completing the square to get that and to also get the equation of line of symmetry of such curve. First, let's begin with example 1. Solve these quadratic equations by factorization method. So we want to solve the first one, which is x squared minus 5x minus 14 equals 0 by factorizing. So what we simply do is that check the coefficient of x squared is 1 here and the constant, which is negative 14. So your product is 1 times negative 14, which is minus 14. Then the sum is the middle term, which is this. So the sum is minus 5. Hence, you now ask yourself, what two numbers do you multiply that the result will be minus 14? And when you sum them, it will give you minus 5. So we don't need to go far. If you have 14 in this first place, you can go in 14, 7 can go here. That means 2 times 7 or 14 times 1. But which one is adjustable? Because the two of them will give us 14. Which one is adjustable to get something like this? How do you apportion the sign to get something like that? So if we give this one negative, we say plus 2 times negative 7, it will give us negative 14. And if you do plus 2 minus 7, 2 minus 7 will give you minus 5. So that means this satisfies what we want to use. Hence, these two values, 2 and negative 7, is what we use to replace this negative 5. We now replace it as plus 2x minus 7x, since we want to use it to replace minus 5x. So we quickly move on. We are using positive 2 and negative 7. So we say x squared plus 2x minus 7x minus 14 equals 0. So if you say 2x minus 7x, will give you this one back. And if you say 2 times minus 7, it will give you the product, which is this one times this one, which is negative 14. So all you need to do now is that from 3 terms, we will be able to group this left-hand side into 4 terms. So we'll now group them, we'll now factorize them, take them to 2, x squared and 2x. What is common is x. Factor out x. What do we have left here? X squared divided by x is x plus 2x divided by x, that is 2. Then here, we factor out negative 7. Anytime you factor negative number outside, you must be careful because the next sign will change. If it is minus, become plus. If it is plus, become minus. Let's say. So for this one, now, if you say negative 7x divided by negative 7, we have x left. If you say negative 14 divided by negative 7, negative divided by negative is positive, and 14 divided by 7 is 2, equals to 0. So this has become 2 terms. Now this one is a single term because they multiply. If you have A, B, same thing as a single term. They multiply together. So in this case, in these 2 terms, which is this one, what is common? What is common is the values inside their bracket. So we factor it out. That is x plus 2. Then you open another bracket. If you say the whole of this one divided by x plus 2 will cancel x plus 2, you have x left. If you say negative 7 times this divided by what you have outside. The whole value inside the parentheses will cancel each other. You have 97 left, equals to 0. One thing about multiplication is that if two numbers, like this one now, this value, see it as a number, see the whole of this second value in the second bracket as another number. If two numbers multiply to give 0, if product of two numbers gives 0, that means one of the numbers must have been 0, because you can't say 3 times 4 to get 0 unless one of the two numbers is 0. So since we don't know whether it is this one that is 0 or it is this one that is 0, so we now say it's either x plus 2 that is equals to 0 or x minus 7 that is equals to 0. Then we now have these two linear equations now that we can solve separately. We have x equals to 0 minus 2, which is 2, or x equals to minus 7 together, so 0 plus 7, which is 7. And these are the solution. This solution, these values of x that we call solution are also called the roots of the quadratic equation. Roots of the quadratic equation. We'll quickly go to the B part and see what we get from there when we solve it by factorization method. So for this B part, we have 3x squared minus 10x plus 8 equals 0. So test your products. Your product is coefficient of x squared and the constant, that is 3 times 8, which is positive 24. And your sum is the coefficient of x in the middle, which is minus 10. What two numbers do you multiply to give 24, and when you sum them to give minus 10? Let's quickly break 24 down. 24, we have 2 years 12, 2 years 6, 2 year 3, 3 year 1. That means different numbers that can multiply to give 24. We can have this 2 times 12, 2 and 12. We can have this, that is 2 times 2 here, 4 and 6. We can as well have the whole of these 3 combined with this 2 times 2 times 2, that is 8, times 3, that is 8 and 3. Which other one can we have? We can have everything, which is 2 times 2 times 2, 8, times 3, 24, 24, and 1. Is there any number in between that we can bring together? No. So if you check, all these will give you 24. But which of them can you adjust the sign for that will also satisfy the sum? If you put this one maybe negative, if you say negative here, if you say 2 minus 12, it will actually give minus 10. But by the time you say 2 times minus 12, you won't get 24. So, but if you look at this one, what about if you give negative to both of them? Minus 4 and minus 6. Minus 4 times minus 6, minus times minus is plus, 4 times 6 is 24. Will satisfy this. And minus 4 plus minus 6, minus 10. So we are going for this to replace the middle term here. So we quickly solve that. Now we have 3x squared minus 4x minus 6x plus 8 equals 0. Then you factorize. So what is common between this and this? That is x. X is a 3x minus 4. Then here, once you factor out negative, be careful, the next one, what is common between here and here? That is 2. 6x, negative 6x divided by negative 2, that is positive 3x. Then positive 8 divided by negative 2, that is negative 4 equals 0. And of course, the value inside the two brackets must be the same. Otherwise, that means you must have done something wrong. Now, in between the two terms, it is the value inside the parentheses that we can say are common. That is 3x minus 4 into, if you use the whole of this divided by this, you have x left. Negative this divided by this. This, the two brackets will cancel. You have negative 2 left equals 0. So from here, like we said earlier, if two numbers multiply to get 0, that means one of them must have that 0. X minus 4 may be equals to 0, or x minus 2 maybe that's 0. Then you solve separately, you have 3x equals to 4, or x equals to 0 plus 2, which is 2. Hence, x equals to 4/3, dividing both sides by the coefficient of x, or x equals to 2. So these are the two results for our quadratic equation solved by factorization method. As part of assessment, I would like to give this to all prospective candidates to try out as exercise. So, by factorization method, I have 5x squared minus 12x plus 4 equals 0.